it's Lindsay from My Crafty Plans. Today I'm going to be planning the week of April 4th in my memory planner, which is of course my Aura Estelle A5 wide cloud planner, and I do have my Crest Press inserts in there. This was actually the week of my birthday, so I am going to be using this very special birthday kit from JKCreates Co. I do PR for her shop, so you can use the code Lindsay15 to save with her, and also mention me in the notes to seller to get my freebie, which I will pop a picture of into the screen. It is on transparent matte paper and it is foiled, and it's got a lot of fun stuff on it. So anyway, I'm going to be using this kit. It's called The Next Chapter. I just thought this was so lovely for a birthday kit. It's got like these amazing watercolors, purple and teal. Love the color combo. And it's like very delicate. It's got some florals, so it's really springy, and I'm really excited to use this. This was available in all 3 foil colors, so you could choose, and I of course picked rose gold since that is my favorite, and I thought it would match nicely with the purples. So there are the full boxes, and you've got your headers and your sidebar stuff. She has done a kit reformat since this kit came out, and this is a 5-page kit, and now her kit is 4 pages. She was able to squeeze everything in on 4 pages, but this is the older format, and so this page is the unfoiled functional page, which I absolutely love. She even kept the 1/8, the little thing size boxes, some of them, in the new kit reformat, which you know I love stuff that size because I like to squeeze a lot into my memory planner. You've got your split bottom washi, again, just like the lovely florals, and then this like cool little, I don't know, it's not like quite lace. I'm not really sure what it is, but it's really cool detailing on that washi there. And then you have this page, which has some icons and layering items, some scallops, and then an assortment of deco. And then she does have deco sheets available a la carte, and she included 4 in my order. So I have lots and lots of florals to pull into the spread, and I am hoping to pull in a lot of them to the spread. And then because it's my birthday and I felt like doing something a little extra fancy, I do have these really awesome bougie boxes from Plannahannah. These underlays, they are the Botanical 2. They've got like these rose vibes, and I just think they're so pretty. So I have 2 sheets of these, which has enough to do a full week of spreads. It's 16 bougie boxes, 8 per page. So I'm going to be using these as well and doing like a full on bougie box spread for my birthday. So I am going to pull out these pages and jump in. So obviously this was a little while ago. This was actually one of the weeks that I had skipped over in my planner, and I am hoping to catch back up in my memory planner, but it's going to take some time because this was the week before vacation, so then obviously I was away when I usually would have been filming this spread, but then I got a little bit more behind after that, and now I'm having a really busy month with work, and I'm also going on a work trip, so I know I'm going to get like a little bit more behind even. It's just a couple weeks, so I don't think it's a big deal, but I did just skip over some weeks. This week I initially skipped just because of vacation, but then I just didn't feel like going back to it because this was honestly, even though it was like my birthday week and I was really excited to use these absolutely gorgeous stickers. I love this kit so much, and I had the underlays. This was honestly just one of the most stressful weeks of my entire adult life, and I just didn't want to think about it. This was just such a bananas week with the lead up to the trip, and not even like there was anything to do to manage that. It was just the anxiety about like trying to coordinate all of the pandemic protocols and like the testing. And I honestly, for most of this week, was just convinced that we were going to end up having to cancel, that it wasn't going to go. One of the kids was actually home in quarantine after a school exposure at the beginning of this week. It was just really stressful. And I basically just had to power through the week and try and convince myself to still do all of the vacation prep things that I needed to do, even though I was so worried about the trip getting canceled. When we got our final test results that we needed to get on the plane they came in on Saturday night, I literally just cried. I just started crying on the couch. I was so happy and so relieved. We had an amazing trip. You can check out that plan with me if you haven't seen it already. It's been up for a while, but we just had the best vacation, and I'm so glad. It definitely makes this week seem at least somewhat worth it, but this was a really stressful week. So anyway, while I am putting down the rest of this space, I actually want to talk a little bit about the sticker placement. I know, not something that I usually talk about on my Plan With Me's, but I did want to just share a couple of things. One, the up-down date cover look is definitely my favorite date cover thing right now. Usually when I do it, I start with the Monday low and then go up, down from there. And this makes it really easy to do this sidebar because then you can use the full box that you're going to use on the sidebar as another up piece and use that kind of like position that where the high date covers would go. And as I've been trying to use my sidebar a little bit more for like a currently section, it's helpful for also creating a little bit more space on the sidebar so that I still have time to still have space to do all of the decorations. That being said, this week I didn't really end up utilizing it that well. So, but I do put some of the underlays that I'm going to use on it. So it looks really pretty, but I definitely could have done the opposite this week and started with the Monday up. That's good for if you want to decorate above the full box on the spread. And I definitely have done spreads like that recently, but the Monday down is my more typical start. So then the other thing that I wanted to mention is my underlays and the underlay placement. So I have been really into doing underlay spreads recently. I'm just like really feeling it. This one is coming. I have another one coming out after this. I think my next spread after this will probably be a bougie box spread as well. I just think it's really special. It's really fun sometimes. I cannot commit to a planning style. I love to do all different things. I love to do like the more floral look. I love to do the underlays with like the really full in spreads, character stickers versus more dainty doodles, all different kinds of stuff. So I just really like to mix it up. But lately I've definitely been on a little bit of in an underlay space of mine. And I especially do really like it with this spread because this kit is so delicate. I think it adds just like something a little bit unexpected to it. And I really love the Plannahannah underlays. She has some really, really creative ones that are super fun, including the floral ones that I'm gonna kind of put down in a minute. Oh, I'm starting right now with them. So what I did want to mention though about these and what I've been really into lately is still doing no headers in the spread, even with the underlays. I just love the extra space that doing no headers has created in my spreads because I do tend to cram a lot in my day by day. So it's really helpful for me to have that extra space. Honestly, if you put 3 headers down, it's probably like the equivalent of almost a half box of extra space that you can plan in or you can memory keep in. So this wasn't my best job with the underlays, but when I'm putting them down for a no header spread, what I like to think about is where am I likely going to have a box that runs the full width of the column? So you want your underlays to make sure that it looks like a complete spread and you can't see that there are no headers or like you can't tell when you're looking at it. What you want to do is make sure that the underlays run all the way to the top and bottom of the full box, but you can leave gaps in between where you're going to cover the space with something that runs the full length of a column, like a regular quarter box or a regular half box or third box, just nothing midi size, no layering pieces, anything like that. So I try and think a little bit strategically while I'm doing it. And then the other thing is that the underlay sheets come 8 to a sheet, and so you need 2 sheets to get a full spread. That's typically just how they come, even when you get them in like a wiggle or if you're buying them individually. You're going to need 2 sheets of them to do a full spread, but then you do have 2 extras, and what I like to do is cut down the extras to use as kind of like filler space as I go through the day by day and to squeeze space into the extra gap. Then the other thing is I know that I usually put down something that runs the full length of the column all the way at the bottom of the spread. Like I usually end with like a quarter box or a half box or whatever. That's just how I end the day. So I can always leave extra space at the bottom, and I'm probably not going to need to cover that with the underlays. So that's my little tip for doing an underlay spread with the headers. I have definitely gotten better at it with practice, and this one turns out you can't even tell that I like had to cheat them or whatever. The way that this design work, it's just very symmetrical. So it worked really, really well. And honestly, with like the little dot, like standard kind of underlays, you're not going to be able to tell either. But I am definitely getting better at that placement as I do more of these spreads. And it's just really fun. And I just love the way it looks. I also love the contrast of seeing like the before I do the day by day. So I posted a picture of this spread in like just the base of the spread down on Instagram, and you can see kind of all the gaps are where the headers would have gone, or where I have space blank, kind of like what you can see right now. And then the finished spread, if you're looking at it, you can't tell at all whatsoever that I had to like paste some of these together, that I cut down some of them to push them back in, anything. It's just like, it looks like a full continuous spread, and it's just really, really special. So I do really love that. The contrast of the light colors in this kit and like the really bold underlays looks really, really nice in person. But I did have a little bit of trouble with my camera and my lighting. Just like the contrast of the dark underlays and the lighter kit makes it a little bit harder to see. Like it just switched over to this part of the video. It's just my camera was just having a little bit of trouble focusing on it. I think I tried to fix it the best I could while I was editing, but sorry if there are a couple of weird spots with the lighting there. So speaking of frustrating things, I can jump right into the day by day, where I started my week with a broken computer. I had woken up early to try and do some of my regular Monday work task before the kids that were allowed to go to school had to go to school, since one of my kids was home for a quarantine Monday through Wednesday. And so instead my computer was completely broken, and it took me forever to get it fixed. I was able to get it fixed. I do think eventually I'm going to have to get a new computer, like sooner rather than later, but it's okay for right now. I was able to get it fixed, but it took like a couple of hours to get everything working again. And at that point I had totally lost my morning, and I was running really behind. And on top of that, I had a dentist appointment, which I completely forgot, even though it was literally in my planner and in my phone calendar and everything a bunch of times. So then we had to like shuffle some things. So my husband came home for lunch and had lunch with my son, and I went to the dentist. It was actually a really good appointment. I graduated. So if you don't know, I've spoken about this a bunch of times, but I had pregnancy-induced gingivitis with all three of my kids, and my oldest is 2 now. And it just takes and then with the pandemic, I didn't go to the dentist for like almost a year, which for me is a lot. I usually go 4 times a year, and I just have had like ongoing issues with my teeth. And at this dentist appointment, for the first time since I think my first kid was born, I have been pushed back now, and I can go every 4 months instead of every 3 months. So I only have to go 3 times a year now. I feel like I graduated. I was very excited when they told me that, but they said everything's like looking a lot better. Like I have so many problems with my teeth. I literally have 2 different prescription toothpastes that I use. Like I'm not joking. It's just next level. And it doesn't matter what I do. Seemed like forever that it just wasn't getting better, but now it seems like it's finally starting to get a little bit better, which is great. And I had such a bad experience I had gone to the periodontist like about a month before this, and just really did not like the doctor, and had just had like a really bad experience there. So I was like kind of nervous to go back to the dentist, but it was a good experience, and everything is looking better. So I'm very happy about that. Anyway, then after I finally got my work done, I did some life admin stuff, kind of like my Monday usual. I typically when I don't have to go to the dentist or have a kid home, I usually just Mondays I work in the mornings, and then I like take care of a bunch of prep for the week, house stuff, chores, getting our life all together on Monday afternoons. And that's just typically how my Mondays run. And then I also did a workout. I did a kettlebell workout. My son was so cute. He was the one that was home, and he kept trying to like lift the kettlebell. I was just like trying to be like, I'm so strong. I was like, let's not swing that around. That's a little too heavy for you. And then we played outside for a while, and then I watched something on TV, which I have put a binge watch sticker on, but I don't remember exactly what we were watching in my sidebar section, which I haven't stuck down yet. I have that we finished watching The Dropout this week, and we started watching Tokyo Vice this week, but we've had a number of other ongoing shows in my sidebar. For now, I've decided just to put down things when they start or when they finish, because otherwise I'm just like end up writing the same TV shows so many times in a row. For a while, I feel like we were only watching things on like Netflix or Hulu or where they were all, all the episodes go up at once, but now we watch so much on like HBO, and I feel like other networks are starting to do the same thing. So I feel like I have a lot more week by week shows back in our rotation. So, I don't want to have to write like the same show every single week when, especially if I'm only watching one episode. So then I've just been doing the, when we started and when we finish it in my planner on the sidebar. Do sometimes write the name of the show that I'm watching, especially if it's only like one show that I watch in a night in the day by day, but I really love getting to use all of the pretty scripts that I have, so I don't do that as frequently anymore just because I do have so many cute scripts, including that one from Lilac Luna Plans, who unfortunately I don't think is open anymore. Other stickers that I used this week, Crafts by Towie icons and Fox and Pip girls, and some White Deer stationery icons are all of the stuff I have. So the girls are all Fox and Pip. The foiled icons are almost all from Crafts by Towie, I think, and then the more doodly looking icons, the hand-drawn ones, are from White Deer Stationery. And then on Tuesday, so in addition to my son still being home, my youngest was also home because she only goes to school Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So we just had a fun playtime in the morning, and then we took a walk in the stroller and went down to this field that we live nearby that we just like ran around on this field and had a really good time and just, played some tag and chase type games and all of that stuff. And then my son had his birthday, I think, a week and a half before this, and he had gotten I think they're called smash eggs. Yeah, Zuru Smashers Dino Eggs is what they're called. I just went and looked it up, and they were just such a huge hit. So if you have any 4-year-olds in your life, or even a little bit older or younger or whatever, they were a really, really big hit. He got 2 of them. One he got first, and then we saw how much he loved it, and then someone bought him another one. And they have these really teeny tiny little egg puzzles in them where like you can reassemble the eggs that you've smashed, except for that it requires an extreme amount of finger dexterity, so not for a child to do. But we were having so much fun like racing. I was like putting the puzzles back together, and he was like putting the little dinosaur pieces inside of them, and then we were like trying to get before the baby smashed them, and it was just like a race game. And then actually later on, my husband and I, we raced to see how many we could put together before we we tried to race each other putting them together. So it was really fun egg puzzle stuff. That afternoon, everyone took a nap, so I filmed a memory plan with me. And then that night, I worked some more in my planner and just listened to some podcasts. So then the next day, Wednesday, was actually my birthday, and we didn't really do anything special for my birthday. I'm just very much not a birthday person, but I did sleep in and just like hung out in the morning. We did a yoga video. My son was home again. This was his last day home, and we did a yoga video and had some fun. And then it was pretty rainy, but I wanted to just kind of wear him out a little. So we put on rain boots and a raincoat and walked outside for a puddle stomp, and just kind of went all around and jumped in some puddles and that kind of stuff, which I really do not like doing at all. But, sometimes you do what you got to do. And then I did some more filming that night, and I also took a bath. So because I usually oftentimes we'll work on like planner stuff in the afternoon. I just am very much a morning person in terms of like workability and focus, and I only work like super part-time, so I can usually handle stuff in the morning. And then in the afternoons, a lot of times I'll like to kind of zen out with my planners or with crafting, drawing, painting, whatever as well. And then and also do kind of life admin stuff. Anyway, on Thursday, I did a Target run, and I bought some bathing suits, both for myself and for my husband. Like I said, we were going to Jamaica the week after this, and my husband and I could not find any of our bathing suits. We think we must have just left them at my parents' beach house this summer, because usually we just like bring a bunch of clothes down there at the beginning of the summer, since we go pretty much every weekend. But their house is under construction. Like they're doing some like renovations right now, so everything from our room room that we left there is like super packed away, and so we couldn't get to it anyways. So I just bought a couple new bathing suits. Could have used them anyways. And then I ended up just returning a few that I didn't use after we got back. But I bought 4 bathing suits, and I didn't want to try them on in the store because I had the baby with me. So I just I'll bring them home and then I'll just return whatever I don't like. But I ended up really liking them all. And then having a really hard time deciding. But I was like, I don't think I need 4 bathing suits new. I was maybe 2. So anyway, I ended up taking 3 of them with me on the trip, and then one of them I never even wore. So I returned 2 of them. We ended up having to go back to Target over the weekend because in addition to the bathing suits, well, first of all, the bathing suits that I bought for my husband, even though they were his usual size, were huge, comically large on him. So we had to go back and get him new ones. And then also I had ordered stuff for the kids online a while before this, and it was supposed to come by Friday. And then some of it got delayed until Monday, which was after we left. So we ended up having to run back for another Target trip to pick some stuff up. And then I had this pile of stuff to return to Target for so long, and I kept forgetting it, but I did finally get it returned. It just happened literally a month later. Anyway, that night we got takeout for dinner and just watched some TV, and then Friday was my kind of big vacation prep day. I did my hair. That's not really related to vacation prep, but I did do my hair, and then I did all of the laundry in the house so that we were all prepped for packing and all of that, although it wasn't really the same clothes since it was pretty cold here still. But I just wanted to make sure there was no laundry left in the house for when we got back, because I knew we would have a ton from the trip. We also had to go and get our PCR tests done for the airplane, and then I also had a wax appointment. So it's just a very busy, running a bunch of errands, doing a lot of stuff, getting ready, and also just feeling really, really stressed about the results of said test, and just feeling so anxious that we were somehow going to have to cancel this trip, and it was just going to be a whole thing. And we had looked up the cancellation policy on the hotel and the flights so many times and everything. We were just really, really stressed about it. And then, yeah, I just honestly, we just watched some TV that night, and I feel I couldn't even concentrate. I was just so nervous about the test results. And I wasn't sick at all or anything. And I had already taken an at-home test, but it was just a non-rational fear that we were going to have to cancel our vacation, which I was very excited for. Then on Saturday, we had kind of a day with the kids. They were just really cranky and not feeling it. And we didn't really want to see people because of the tests, and we were just really feeling very, very worried about the trip. So we just had a really quiet weekend at home. And one of my big goals for this year has been to be really proactive with planning things for the weekend, for scheduling things for the weekend, making sure that we have activities to do, places to go, meetups, things to do, all different kinds of stuff, so that we're not at home on the weekend, or we're not just always going to grandparents' house, and that becomes not really an activity. And I've worked so hard to do that this year, and it's going so well. But because then we didn't have any plans this weekend, and we didn't want to go anywhere, the kids were just so bored, and we're just what are we doing? What's the plan? But anyway, so we had a really quiet day at home. And then also randomly on Friday, our heat broke in our house. So then we were able to get an emergency appointment for them to come out and check it on Saturday. They didn't end up being able to fix it then, which is really frustrating because we had to pay for them to come out. But then ended up being something that was covered by warranty. So it's a good thing we didn't pay to have it fixed, because then we were able to get it fixed for free after we got back from our trip. So that was a win. Anyway, so it was just a quiet Saturday. We did finally get our results. And like I said before, I literally cried when we got them in. I was so happy. And then I was all in on Sunday. We spent a large portion of the day packing and getting ready for the trip. And then I also had planned to do my regular Monday work on Sunday. That's that freelancer lifestyle. So it worked out really well, and I was able to get almost all done. And then I just had to have someone cover the last minute publishing stuff for me once we were already on the trip. But it was so great because then I didn't bring my computer on the trip. I didn't even think about it. The internet at the hotel was honestly so spotty, which was wonderful. And I didn't think about work or computers or anything the whole time we were away. So I'm glad that I set it up that way. And on Sunday afternoon, I watched Better Nate Than Ever with the kids, and I actually watched the whole thing. I thought it was so, so adorable. I really loved it, and the kids super loved it. They've watched it again since then, especially my daughter, who's really into musicals, just like absolutely loved it. And it was just really, really a fun time. And then we got pizza for dinner, and then my husband and I just watched some more TV that night as well. Yeah, just, ready to go, all ready to wake up bright and early and head on our vacation after this. So I'm actually just finishing up with the sidebar where I'm putting those TV shows in that I finished this week, which again were The Dropout and Tokyo Vice. Okay, that is everything all finished up. I absolutely love how the underlays look with this kit with the florals and everything. I just think it looks so good together. I'm really happy with that. So let me show you what I have left from the kit really quick. I did use like most of the functional items. I have some deco and some layering pieces left, like a handful of things, but I did definitely use a lot of this kit. I do have a bunch of the sidebar stuff left since I don't usually use as much of that. And then as far as the floral ones go, I just like kept reshuffling which ones I was using based on what pieces. So I have a good deal of floral deco left that I will put in my de-stash pile as well. But that is everything for this week. So if you liked this video, please give it a big thumbs up. I'd love it if you'd subscribe and check me out on Instagram at mycraftyplans to keep up with everything going on in my planners. Bye.